to hear from Dr. Pratima. Why teachers' relationship as a subject, or as a subject matter, is important area to look into.
Well, nice question, Pujal. Good beginning, I must say, as icebreaker. Well, the topic itself is very interesting, and we are discussing this in a time where already we see within family as well, there is a lot of complexity when it comes to relationship. Families which were joint are nuclear, and even nuclear are even smaller now. So certainly there is a challenge. And I'm telling this amid a huge technology outburst. So when it comes to teaching and learning, or you mentioned on teachers, it's so important because whatever happens at home or outside, on road, in institution, in own school or colleges, same teacher is facing students. He or she is with live community of young children, young minds, young as in Montessori to as high as in higher education. They are not with machines. They are with the men. They are with people around. So all of us, these students are in our team members. The students themselves come with some mindset. So it's something like that. We have our own challenges, and the same people are coming to deal in academia, to talk, to discuss all about subject with people. So it's a very live action, unlike any other thing. It's very dynamic, very live. So relationships become very important. Why? Because the way I carry forward my own mindset, my attitude, my emotional intelligence, I am bound to show that in my class. This is exactly happening right now also. Three of us, Mr. Pankaj, Pratima, and Pooja are on camera, and we have 7 more members with us. All of us right now have some mindsets, and a bit can be read from the face as well. So this is still a small number, and we are streaming live, but in a classroom, it can be much, much more dynamic. The age gap is different, the teacher and the student. So relationship play a huge central role, as important as our academic syllabuses, which I like to say.
Yeah. So, what are the different aspect of teacher relationships? We have to take into consideration when we are talking about teacher relationships.
Great. Well, to me, teacher relationship come in minimum 3 facets, I will say. One and the very important is the relationship the teacher carries himself or with herself, the central core, the inner self of a teacher. In fact, this is for all of us. As individuals, we all have a relationship with ourselves. So that is with teacher a little more important than as a normal individual. Number two, he or she, what she faces with her family, immediate family members. Number three is with her teaching community. This is very important. This third itself has a different subsegments. With her reporting officer, his reporting officer, which is principal or the leader, with colleagues, and very important with the students. There's also one more segment with the staff members. Little more if you go in the lower classes, for younger students, parents are very important part of this relationship. And in higher classes, it is you can say recruiters or the industry becomes important. So a teacher is no more a teacher with only subject content or teaching, but he or she delves so many aspects. So if I say something like it is 360-degree involvement, I am in central and there's a lot of people surrounding to me. And based on the day to day, when I'm in the class, those 60 minutes, it's so important with my students. When I'm in a staff room meeting, my colleagues take the pride and they take the prime position. When I'm reporting to my officer, who could be the principal or the management, I have a different aspect. And when I'm in a PTM, I have a different role to play. When I see, as professor and head, I see my students getting placed, I have a huge role at the end of placement or progression, or my students coming to higher university or higher degree. I have a role there as well. So these are the important aspects which goes in teacher's relationship, teacher relationship. Pooja.
Okay, I think as a teacher, I would consider this teacher and student relationship as primary. So that's why I want to start with the, understanding importance of teachers' relationship with the students.
Great. This is very important. You rightly mentioned. Well, I'll start with one word. taking the back support of our nation's, India's national education policy, the latest one, which is no more, this is not that new, it is also 2.5 years old now. It says one word, perhaps one phrase: teachers are the torch bearers of teaching learning process. And number two, I'll take it to even more important, the teachers are pedagogical leaders. Now, please note these both terms are equivalent and applicable every part of the globe, irrespective of the country's technology or development index. They are important. So when you ask me about the teacher and students, you can just see with this line when they are the torch bearers. I'm holding, like say, the power of a pencil to write. When I'm holding that power and the capacity, it is that role which I am with 60 young minds. They are not empty slates. I totally disagree with the thought that they are empty slates and we can write anything. So sorry. Today's children come with so much of the matter here in their own mind. But yes, because I am the torch bearer, I have the capacity to write something, to transform, to illuminate their minds, to activate them, to channelize, to motivate, all this while I'm teaching them. Not as a, or even I can really destroy also. Permit me to say this word. There have been episodes, and India is no exception, that we have so many cases where teachers have spoiled the thing, be it in violence of any kind. And I'm so sorry, I'll stop myself here. But yes, I'm sure our learned community present here, or who are watching, or right now on YouTube, or who are going to watch later, I'm sure all of us will agree with one line, that the teacher's role is prime here. So it's not that the damages don't happen, but the power of a transformer in teacher is very high. So while teaching the subject, while making them ready for life, through the lifelong learning approaches, teacher can do a wonder, and especially when he or she takes help of technology. Why? Because it can be made in more interesting fashion. So the three important aspects, again, it comes in the classroom are: number one, how I unfold the curriculum, which is known as my day-to-day business, my important business, the content, the syllabi, all that. Number two, how I set up my instructional techniques. Syllabus may be at the moment bound for that particular hour, but I have a capacity to unfold it. And number three, how do I assess the child? So all the three, curriculum, instructional technologies, instructional methods, what we call teaching and learning, and number three, evaluation and assessment, all wrapped up can happen in the class. So the way I make them engaged, the way I connect with the students, the way I motivate them, I can create interest. I can bring it down. It's totally in my hand. It's not in the hand of curriculum. It's not in the hand of the smart board. It's not in the hand of the tools which we are going to use. It's all in the hand of the teacher. That's why some teachers are wonders. They do wonderful job. Some really can spoil, permit me to say this word, spoil the game of learning. So yeah, better academic scores, better personalities, better confidence, better teaching learning outcome, better future workforce as citizens of the country, all are rolled from the classrooms. It is so slowly, so subtle that we may not immediately understand our role, but actually when we integrate it, we do see the cascading beautiful effects of our work. So this becomes core in the classroom. Little later, how we associate for the homework, other works, how we associate with project, hands-on, how much engagement is happening, how much while I'm connecting. Can I see a child who's not well from the face? Like right now I was telling, lot can be read from my face, your face, Pooja, right now. So what I was trying to say is that, yes, so the child is not well and my one touch on his head, hello, how are you? Not well? Okay, relax. You want something? See the tonacity of my voice. My child is hungry and sitting in the classroom, and I cannot expect magic from the child that he or she'll be so attentive. So, our presence in very subtle, yet very pragmatic way can do wonders in the classroom. And that's why I say the power of the teacher is huge. A teacher may say, oh, no, no, I can't do much. I'm just a teacher. I'm just a primary teacher. I've entered, I'm assistant professor. No, those 60 minutes, you are the king, you are the queen, you are the leader of the class. Take the momentum, take it, move it further, and ensure that you respect them, they respect you. This is very important word I've opened up now. Mutual respect is something which we are seeing there is a degradation in family also. Children, when they do not respect their parents, those children as students cannot be expected much in the classroom. But generally it is seen that teacher's expectation is very high. We expect as we enter, they should stand and start wishing a lot. Sorry, the times have changed. There is fragmentation in families also. We have to address that a little later, but can we really take care? I have done this mistake, I'm telling to all of us. There have been a couple of years back that I, as a teacher, professor, expected my students, the final year engineering students, will stand. And attending such sessions, it was live in the auditorium when I had learned to address life for 5 minutes in my classes, at least once a week. I repeat, address life, aspects of life or lifelong learning in my classes just once a week, because we at least get 40 hours to spend in the whole semester. It could be as high as 52 hours in some places. Even in schools, we get even much more in classrooms in one academic year. So can I address in my 1 year 10 times, 8 times power of life? And I saw the change in myself. I saw improvement that yes, when my expectations went down, my acceptance to them and vice versa went up. So the mutual respect, the trust can do wonders. And I look forward for more questions before I deliberate little extra matter on these two important aspects.
When I started reading on a teacher's mental well-being, I have come across this one particular sentence, and most of them mentioning that happy teachers, create happy classrooms. But I think teachers to be happy, it is equally essential that they have healthy or good professional relationship with colleagues and their administration, or with the people whom they probably report. What is your take on this particular aspect? How to manage healthy professional relationship with colleagues or administration? This is the one issue that many of us suffer with.
Yes. Well, again, pretty pertinent. Now, when a teacher is not comfortable with, as you mentioned, professional relationships, what you are asking, then it's really a challenge, number one. And number two, the teacher, we have to go a little more in inner core, Pooja. We need to really delve into the thing, what is happening in terms of teacher's mindset, what thoughts he or she gets. Now, I'll talk in that inner engineering. How much I'm comfortable with myself as a teacher, as a person, not as a teacher. Teacher, I'm second. First, I'm as a person. A teacher has to be seen a little more important, because the teacher is as a person than he or she. If it is school, majority we are ladies who are handling schools, and in our higher education, we may have variation in men and women. So what happens is that a teacher as a person, a teacher as a family member, and then a teacher as a professional. These three important aspects have to be seen before he or she is launched in the classroom. Unfortunately, I repeat the term, unfortunately, teachers are hired, particularly in our higher education, directly because of the PhDs or our master's degree. So the three have not been seen. How exactly my role as HR is, how good I'm in relationships, how good I am in managing human behavior or understanding. And now this is the time to introduce a beautiful term, which is emotional intelligence. So teachers who are emotionally intelligent, they are generally better. They have relationship with themselves, with their members in the home, the family, and certainly in the staff room or in their chambers, even with their reporting officers. Because our ego clashes, or the biasness, or the preset notions, or the attributes that, I have achieved this, who you are in front of me, those kind of notions can be damaging aspects in this whole domain of relationship. So the more comfortable we are, the more empathetic, that is the term I wanted to say, empathetic, which is the more empathy driven I am. So like right now, assume there were 25 teachers expected and we have this numbers, which is pretty encouraging today. But still, I should not see like this. Why attendance is so low? Why the commitment is, they committed for the session, they are not there. No. Sunday afternoon, when they marked for this event to attend, they had some other notion. And now perhaps could be any reason. So empathy helps us to understand other rather than expect a lot. Similarly, my own awareness about me, what Pratima wants, what are the new challenges she's going to face, what is her strength, how she can really enhance, all that is a great way. So when these aspects are dealt with, generally it is seen that the teacher is going to perform better. And here is the role of academic leader which comes. An academic leader which just distributes the class load to random teachers, not taking care of the personality or the indices of the traits of behavior in the mind, he or she may not be very in the right position. We will see there are a lot of class teachers who fail. There are a lot of teachers who fail in the classroom. There are a lot of research teachers who fail in the classroom or in the laboratories. And there are a lot of leaders who are really failing. In fact, if you see, there are reports which we say from vice chancellors to the head minister, has what is that, headmaster or headmistresses in schools. We have there's a dearth of good leadership. So one person is managing so many. And we have Dr. MM raising the hand, even Mr. Pankaj is raising the hand. We must give them the chance to speak. In a minute, I'm finished wrapping this line. So this becomes so important, the leadership. Can we ensure that a good leader is sitting in the right place to assign the right class to the right teacher? And I will leave this task with something which I have done and experimented very successfully, which is in terms of what we say customized mentoring. Similarly, customized class teachership is the word I want to introduce first time in your session, Pooja. Customized. I suppose we both are right now there. I can handle a class. My capacity is different as a class teacher than your capacity. But if randomly I am given a class which actually you were more capable, then that mistake can happen. So it takes time, but it works very beautifully. The damages are less, if not zero. That's what I want to say. And I think we must invite Pankaj and Dr. MM to say something.
Yes, I think Mr. Pankaj have dropped a message. He'll be back in a minute. So let's go with Dr. MM. I think it's, the complete name is not there. Yeah, please.
Hi, Poojaji. Firstly, congratulations for, organizing this. It looks like you have taken a mission that, yes, I will improve, the standards and everything. More power to you. Over to Dr. Pratima. I want your thoughts on, you said failures of teachers. I also have seen this and experienced that, a good teacher is not necessarily the one from premier institutes. A lot of engineering institutions I have worked and I have come across where managements or the higher authorities who foolishly make statements that, people from premier institutes have great capabilities with respect to teaching, which have gone wrong several times I have seen.
Oh, yes.
So I want to, ask you to throw light on this about how this is not related to just premier institutes. You come from a premier institute or you have done your master's or PhD.
Absolutely. Totally, Dr. MM, I am totally in sync with you, I must say. Perhaps this statement has been made in terms of academic, perhaps more than that, research outcomes. Premier institutions who get a lot of funding, and I think I understand we both are talking of higher education right now. Am I right, Dr. MM? Higher education, not school education.
Yes, ma'am, you are right. Yes.
I understood. So this premier word generally is used there, absolutely. And again, when it comes to this country, we have seen that when teachers are never recruited on their teaching skill, they're only recruited through their degrees, publications, funding capacities, projects and all. So this is so unfortunate. Perhaps the first policy which has spoken about teachers' capacity is this NEP 2020. So I think by 2035, maximum by 2040, but the timeline says within this time, the change has already started, which is very less now. So it's not visible. It will happen. We will see that. But coming to right away, your point is very valid. Good so-called premium institutions have good teachers in terms of starry recognitions, not starry teaching quality. It is by chance that they are good teachers also, and they are very lucky to have such teachers. And that's why sporadically we have seen wonders happening in such institutions, because there are job protection is very high. There are a lot of good aspects of working in premium institutions, unlike in private academia, where job security also is very limited, and there are a lot of other challenges. So these teachers who have a chance to work comfortably with retirement or post-retirement also. If they are good in teaching, it's wow, I will say. And one good teacher, I know many in my own from university. In fact, when we meet, I say to my own senior, I keep telling, sir, produce 10 more like you, because already there is a dearth of good researchers and teachers in premium institutions also. But kindly, before you retire, please produce 10 like you. There is such a dearth actually. My work with public and private universities to take me to this point. So there is an aspect of good teaching practices. We have done good institutional practices, best practices, but we have not documented very well good teaching practices, good teachers. In school, it is much better than in higher education, doctor. So we need to really see, and that's why whenever I meet vice chancellors or the leader of the institutions, I always say, please invest on the younger teachers. Please invest more so that who have 30 or 25 plus years of service remaining, they will be asset to the society beyond you, asset to the institution. And number two, highlight the good teachers, not only good researchers, highlight teachers who are bringing social skills in students, who are motivating, who are confidence
Ma'am,
building.
I couldn't control myself, intervening. You're
Please.
bringing so many nice points. It would lead to several questions. I'm not sure whether I have time and permission to ask or, things, but really enjoying the session.
Great, great. Nothing to worry, Dr. MM. We can be in touch post the session also. The world is very small now, all thanks to the social media. So good. Wrapping up your question before we come to Pankajji is really invest on good teachers. Every school leader. In fact, one more thing I will draw. Right now, most of us are teachers. Many of us will be leaders very soon. So kindly take this. It's not only for the current leaders, it's for the future leaders also. Please invest. One good teacher can be really into multiplication factor of 10 to few. It can go to exponential also. So please enjoy that. That's what I say. There is already dearth in this area. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pankaj. So you can go ahead.
Dr. Pratima, very good points you have raised that a student-teacher relationship matters, and it matters not only because of the content teacher delivers, not only dependent upon the learning activities you put down in the classroom or the type of assessment you conduct with students. How about the classroom size? So what we're talking about, a teacher being in classroom teaching to students. So I think the relationship matters between the delivery of knowledge and the students you have. And I think building a relationship, it's possible, by delivering the content as well, but also dependent upon mainly the number of students in the classroom.
Oh, yes.
So a smaller classroom size, I think in my experience, I've taught students, virtually with students from 1 to 5 to 27. And I see a very different gradation in the relationship you build with the students. Then I've seen in-person classroom of students of 4 to 30. So that, also, making connections and building relationship with students also depends upon the student size, because, you're going to teach, that would be a very much, framework kind of a teaching. But
Right.
when it comes to, building relationship, that is solely dependent upon the number of students you have. So the point of discussion would be having a smaller classroom size is more important in building the student-teacher relationship, or that does not matter?
Wonderful. To be honest, Pankajji, it's not that smaller. I'll say it should be optimally sized. So there's a lot of research already done on the capacity of a teacher, and different grades will have different sizes. If you go with Montessori, we always have 2 teachers for, say, as small as 10 numbers. But that as we go higher in the classes, especially in higher education, 1 is absolutely sufficient. And we have students who can be themselves bioindicators. In fact, I have done that experiment also. So in younger classes, let's have at least 2 or 1 teacher with 20 they give often. But countries like India, where population is very high, scope is very limited in terms of numbers, we have done this error of having higher class with 1 teacher. I know schools who are running with 60 students and 1 teacher in any given point of time. Even this goes as high as 70 in higher education. Sometimes with very general subjects, common subjects, it can go even 200. Even our IITs also house some subjects for 200. So it's very variable. But that point, what you told is very important, that the numbers do play a role. Very small number adds to inefficiency of the system, manpower utilization. But optimal to little, always we have been human beings, we have some plus and minuses with us. So it can go. And another important point, again, it's capacity of the teacher. Some of us are wonderful people who are like bees. We attract we attract students' capacity to learn. Some of us are, we have an aura that we don't allow anybody to ask a question also. So you see, the same class, two different teachers will have a total different ball game. Very important is that's why academic leader in the time of recruitment, the HR in the schools, they have a huge role to play. Can they understand the personality? That's why psychometric tests and all are done today in very good schools. How to recruit a teacher is not on how to recruit an employee. It's very different ballgame. So can we take some tests beyond the subject knowledge, beyond the engagement quality, how the person interacts with what are the social skills, what are the communication skills, what are the emotional intelligence of a teacher? There are some teachers who throw the chalk till today, who throw the book on the students. In my own HOD-ship, I had to go and run in the classroom when this has happened. So we have to be very cautious in allotting the right person. Once the recruit is over, it is the head's responsibility. And who is going where, which class, and also have some, what we say, 0-hour activities, where the students have to just like this sit and listen on what the teacher is planning the next week. What are his or her? I'll tell you, Pankajji, one experiment which is KYT. Anybody can guess what is KYT or KYS? Anybody would like to guess? I'm just texting these two terms. In fact, why term? I can
know your student, madam. Know your student.
Absolutely, doctor. It is know your students, KYS. And when students were told, we will try to know you. So the students told, ma'am and sirs, can we know you? So we had, no, why? Know your teachers. So this exercise, only this particular KYT and KYS can do wonders. I have learned from the corporates KYC, know your customer. So I have derived these terms only from them, all thanks to this. So even my Paytm, they have to know me. My bank has to know me before transaction is happening. How can I have transaction in the classroom without knowing my students? Just because the list of students is given to me, their address, their previous qualifying marks, not at all. What is the personality of a child? What irritates me as a teacher? When I've shown in the PowerPoint in my classroom, students have understood me much more. Then they expect, oh, this lady with PhD, this many papers has come. So can I make myself a little more available to students in terms of my strength, my weaknesses? And there could be a great wonder. Similarly, there are children, especially in higher education, who are sitting in the classroom, particularly in engineering, not because they want, but because their parents want. How can we expect wonders from such students who are by force sent to the classroom? In school, it is different. They all have to go through that. But in college, they have a variety. And that's why it is always good to have some free sessions. 5 minutes, that's why. I learned very late in my age, in my teaching career, I must say. So it was 2013, 10 years back, I have learned this. So I lost my another 13 years by that time. So please see, I really request all of you, bring life, bring some part. They want to know what is good life. They don't hear much to the parents, what we can do. Today, we are generating graduates without communication skills, without much confidence. When we say, can you ask a question in any seminar hall? My own experiences, we have to do so much, then they start answering. Otherwise, they don't even ask a question to get answered. So there's a lot to be done. So that will be a great way. Social skills, life skills, communication skills. In fact, social skills do include communication, but I'm just saying these are important. So if we do bring that, the size will matter, but not that much. Size of the classroom. It is important, I totally agree. So through your question, I added some more dimensions also.
Another thing, so the optimum number according to is very important, in developing student-teacher relationship. And I guess that that decreases, the optimum number decreases as you move from secondary education of maybe 20 students in the classroom to college, maybe 10. At master's level, maybe you might see in some programs it might be maybe 4. Then when it comes to PhD, it is only 1-to-1. So that means number is very important in creating the student-teacher relationship.
Absolutely.
And being optimum is important, but as we see, optimum might be a good term which will fit in only at school level. But as we go above the ladder in the education system, let it be tertiary or higher, we see there's a decrease in the strength of the students. So optimum number is not important. Maybe at higher education, it's the smaller the classroom, better is the student-teacher relationship.
Yeah, Dr. Pankaj, there also it's important. It's not unimportant, but it will be varying. like 1:15 is for the schools, 1:20 ratio is for the colleges. General thumb rule, you can say. That's what government also
other
wants.
aspect, what I've seen myself, being a student here and abroad, I think when you do more experimental sciences,
yes,
you definitely see, students sitting in classroom like you pose, they're more listeners. They are doers when you give them an activity, but in the experimental sciences, they are the listeners, they are the doers, they are the leaders. At that point, developing a student-teacher relationship becomes very important, and it's quite feasible, and you definitely see more learning. But definitely learning is dependent upon the mentorship rather than being teaching them as teachers.
right.
So there are different aspects. What I've also seen, like what you also said, the student-teacher relationship depends upon various factors, but it has to be dependent upon where are you in the classroom. You're in the classroom, you are in the lab with them, or you are outside in a outreach activity. So different ways.
Oh yes.
I think when you move out from classroom, the classroom, the student-teacher relationship increases.
Yeah. In fact, all we discussed was more about the classroom. In the lab, it will be much lesser. That's why we have batches in the labs in both schools and higher education. And when it comes to outreach and research, it becomes even smaller because the teacher can guide not more than 8. That is
But
also
the
in this
level of
country, but it
interaction
could be
increases
different.
in the lab when you're providing some mentorship.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why we have support systems. We have technical staff. We have supporting teachers, teaching assistants and all also come into picture.
Yes.
So it's very holistic that way because many people are involved in teaching and learning beyond the main teacher.
And how about the relationship of teachers with the parents?
Oh
You
yes.
provide them a feedback, and feedback is given to by the parents to the student, and then student feels more motivated and inclined towards the teacher's teaching. How that helps in building the student teacher?
Wonderful. As the time is growing more complex in terms of home also, this is becoming increasingly important. There was a time when PTM were not that important, but of late it has become quite important. There are some plasticity, nevertheless, but good PTMs are something which they will not only meet in one day, all thanks to the tools which are available with our own devices. There are so many methods by which we can day to day with our learning management systems, LMS, we can coordinate, connect with parents so easily through messages to very customized way. But there are also these PTMs are so important face to face or like, one-to-one online also, where a lot of things can be discussed with parents. Parents are now more involved in learning. So there also parents also, some teacher have that power. They can tell that don't over expect from your child because it's beyond academics because there is a lot of pressure concept comes in the child's mind. And today's children don't know about resilience. Why? Because parents also not being resilient. Teachers themselves, sometimes they are not resilient. So what happens is that they take external pressure equal to stress, which is not at all the formula. Simple physics says that the total stress which I'm perceiving in my body or mind is an outcome of the pressure which is external divided by my inner power, which is resilience. So what has happened? They have made resilience as good as not there. So they are saying, oh, it's very stressful. Oh, it's so much pressurized. So these aspects also so important, which can be discussed in PTMs because parents themselves have to be strengthened. Because what is happening in certain some households that is transferred to students, that pressure undue, and it is causing havoc in the classes and in their lives also. So suicides from students is not unknown, and it's a very unfortunate part where the entire machinery of society fails. Not only parents, teachers also fail with every one child lost. So
I think when I was, oh, I'm sorry.
No, please go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, when I was, reading about this suicide attempts and increasing number of suicides, I even thought about same thing. I think if this one particular area, teacher and parents relationship, is taken care, this cases definitely we can reduce and
Yes.
a huge percentage, because most of the cases students death note and refers pressure, peer pressure and pressure from the parents and society. I think if they get strong support from the parents, and that is nothing like it, probably they get they get huge support and strength to go ahead, whatever happens in life. I think this is very important area that we have to look at. There is.
You are muted, Pooja. You are muted.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, so there is one more question. Before going ahead with that, I think we can take up this question also. We have 15, 18, 17 minutes more. Yeah, Dr. MM, you can go ahead. Okay. Yeah, so this is, my last question, and very important aspect that you referred when I, asked you to talk about this particular topic. I was actually never thought this particular aspect. So it's teachers' relationship with themselves. And also I would like to add one more aspect that you have mentioned, family. And also I will take that as a, even with the society. So what is the importance of this particular, these particular areas?
This is the core, I'll say. We can be, we can show off to an extent outside, but we cannot show off with ourselves. Showing off with family also doesn't work. So a teacher who has two different personas, one actually real and the face what he or she is showing in the academic environment, the more the deviation, the tough it is going to be. In one day, it will break up very badly. So it could be violence, it could be frustration, it could be any level it can go. So it's very important that teachers themselves are cared. Teachers, again, it is an institution's responsibility, like government's responsibility, it's institution's responsibility to talk to teachers periodically, to mentor them. So I'm glad I'm one of the teacher mentor. I became actually of late. The reason is that we expect a lot from the teacher, but how much we are taking care of them. So making them emotionally more intelligent by ways and means. Sometimes they are frustrated themselves and they are in teaching platform, which actually they might not be suitable. They should have taken another career because they did not get any job. They have become teachers. I know there are many ladies who are just sitting at home. So they say, let me go and teach in school. Can you imagine such teachers are in the classroom? So very unfortunate, especially in school. So even in college also, there are good researchers or there are good for some other work, but they are not good to be teacher, but they are in the system. So without passion to teach, without interest to teach, one should not become a teacher. It's better to go to office and not, because we are working with paper and machines. But in teaching, we are working with live students who are young minds, who have to be the future of the country, their society, their family. So damage is multifold. I'm a very strong proponent of this term. I'm just telling in this August meeting also. So it's so important. That's why I work more with younger teachers who are to be 30 years, 35 years, they'll be in the system. Unlike IT or corporates, people don't, teachers change the institutions, but they may not change the profession. But this becomes increasingly important. So let the teacher, it's good if they are into some kind of meditation, inner thought. Can they accept failure? Can they accept what they don't like? Can they accept themselves? There are teachers who are not happy with the way they look, as a person. So they have to be more, in fact, obviously they have to work on themselves, but even institution also, as institution, we can help them. Have some sessions for them, developmental programs, which removes not only teaches how new pedagogy, but also the way to see themselves the way to with pride to see themselves with. Self-value, what I'm trying, self-awareness, self-value is all nothing but being emotionally intelligent. And then we expect that they can understand students. No teacher can be empathetic if the teacher does not know him or herself. That's the major crux which I'm trying to talk. Similarly with the family. There are teachers who are overburdened at home because I know teachers, I've personally met such teachers who are not happy because their family members don't respect them because they're just school teachers. Now, how will you unfold this state? It's very unfortunate. They had passion to teach, but they lost that passion, they lost the interest because of no value or respect in home. Isn't it unfortunate? And school teachers can't make huge money like IT. So just because they're working for society, they should be less or more respected. Please, this is an open question I want to ask to all. Okay, don't worry what management is saying. First, that's why I tell teachers, self-value yourself as a teacher, as a person, and also knit very well the relationship at home. Then come to the outside and talk. Yes, hey guys, I'm your teacher. I am the teacher for the next 1 year. Like this power statement comes in the classroom and stuff. And one more thing, we should not too much compare among teachers. So these all small things can be little disastrous when we have jealousy and all those kinds of professional challenges. So periodically meeting, talking, mentoring to teachers, not only to students, to teachers can help a lot. The teachers with themselves, teacher at home, then teacher in outside is what I'm trying to tell. It cannot be other way around. Institution, home, self. No, self, home, institution. It goes beautifully. That is a much stable input and outcome we will see, much better outcomes. And that's what we want, better learning outcomes from the process.
Yeah, I agree. I think that comes back to the same statement that happy teachers can create happy schools.
Happy individuals can be happy teachers, and happy teachers can have happy classrooms to great work.
Absolutely. And there is a question from Dr. MM. Ma'am, have you come across professional institutions which recruit based on EI or the communication, social aspects?
Yeah, it has started. Yes, it has started. There are now progressive institutions. Every passing year, these changes are happening. Because now we want, internationalization is happening for education. So this is coming as central core. So we have system where EI, communication, social aspects, social skill, beyond the technical, beyond the skills which are required in terms of the subject teaching are being taken care of now. Actually, school teachers do study. I think B.Ed is the minimum thing which they come for. So, yeah. So what is there? Because of this reason, they still have some aspects, but college teachers they are not at all knowing. Now, there are institutions in this city where I'm coming from, Bangalore, where we have electives for college grads, postgrads, and PhDs to take up pedagogical courses while they do MTech and PhD. It wasn't earlier. This is just 2 years back. So like these changes are happening, and it has to happen. In schools, there are, because B.Ed is already there, they are taught how to deal with different diverse groups of students also. That also taken care. But yeah, there's more importance to be given here for sure. Yes, the point of salary also has come now. That there's a huge disparity in terms of salaries. Absolutely. This is unfortunate. Absolutely. That's why the less the biasness, the less the gaps, the better it is. But I don't know, this is little uncontrollable. Why only in teachers? Within IT only, there is a huge disparity. It can go few thousands to few crores. In placement only, I'm telling. So in one institution only, it can go from few thousands to few crore, that to some single digit crore. That is the time which we are running into.
Sorry to intervene, madam. Yeah. Madam, what happens with respect to IT is they can get, jumps when they switch companies. Yeah. But, in schools and colleges, it doesn't happen that way. You are aware. That is also something that need to improve.
Yeah, no, but one more thing, Dr. MM, it cannot improve there. See, every sector has a different role. We are only talking IT. There are so many other engineering branches which don't get the flavor of IT, being in engineering. So if I'm a teacher, I know why I'm becoming a teacher. So why should I complain with my less salary is my first question. Why I have to compare with IT is my second question. Why can't I see that what is my psychic high income which IT is not getting? I have a huge role. I see myself as a very important person in society. When I go out, even if I'm in a public transport or metro or plane I'm traveling, I feel very contented. It is in the attitude, Dr. M. It's not for the government. Government scales are very high now for the school teachers also, you know it. Again, there are chances and corruption. That's a very different ballgame. We can't address this in this session, but we need to know what we are doing. Today, there are many housewives who are very satisfied without earning a single penny. But for that, I must tell, India is a country which really wants women empowerment, not by only talking the seminars and all. We must have more women contributing in the workforce of the nation, not simply enjoying the gadgets and saying that, yes, I am at peace, at ease at my home. That's very important. I'm just addressing this offshoot point, Pooja, from your session. That's very dear to me. Yes. Can we have questions also from some? We have Shweta, we have Manavji, Suman, Dr. Prabha, Akhil, and her. Please, let's have some more inputs from you also. Wonderful talking to Dr. MM and Pankajji. Great.
Okay, so any other question? You can unmute and speak.
Yeah, Dr. Pratima, we look at now the education system and the accessibility of the platforms and the internet. We talk about the times when we were in the school, there was less of student-teacher relationship because of the social media. Nowadays a platform like Facebook or any other platform allows students to be engaged with the teacher, even if they're off school hours or break. So how does that influence the
Wonderful.
student-teacher
Thank you for
relationship?
asking this question. This is so important now. Technology is a new constant in teaching and learning. Let me start with this. I repeat, technology, right now also we are associated with technology, is the new constant. It's not variable anymore. It was variable pre-pandemic, post-pandemic. In fact, as with onset of COVID pandemic, it has become constant. And every month, in fact, less than that, every week we get new tools for teaching and learning. And many of them are free. Many of them are proprietary, but basic model is free. So we have to capacitate our teachers, ourselves, to use more of technology because we are teaching digital natives. Many of the teachers, including my age bandwidth, we are digital immigrants. So can we have more teachers who are understanding the needs? Today's child cannot be told, hey, isko hatao. This is a must now with the child also. So in fact, we also cannot be without this tool now. So the more we have trust, again, we come to the same trust and respect will allow classroom gadgets also. And for example, I'll tell you, I launch my quizzes at 7 p.m. in evening, where my students have come back from the college. Evening chai is over, dinner is yet to come, and we can relax and spend 10 minutes on the quizzing, on gamification. Because why? Our children like that. They can express much, much more. In my own LinkedIn, you can see I have some sessions with 500 students in the auditorium, all with the active devices. And I'll tell you, we had 517, or I forgot 571. I asked, how many of you are without smartphone? One child we had, and I had to clap for him because in today's zamana, without smartphone, I could not appreciate him. In fact, I could not much, I should say. So we really supported him, and I told you can play with another device. One teacher's device was given, and then he also participated. You just see. So 500, I enjoyed that experience with 500 live audience in 50 minute session. It was an amazing way which we could interact. Otherwise, I only speaking, they listening, they nodding, and they just waiting and yawning and all going out low. And I was giving the toughest time post lunch. And I, in fact, chose that because I need to demonstrate the skills which I'm also doing to myself. The more the challenges which we take as a teacher, the better we are. And let's one more small thing, Pooja, I would like to add through Mr. Pankaj's question, is why we are not open to failures. It's okay to fail. As a teacher, also I can fail. Let me try new tools. Let me try new pedagogies. Let me fail. My students will be really understanding. I have done that, and I have really been lucky that my students supported. So what if I fail? As mom, don't I fail when I make a new dish? My husband also fails in some attempts when he's trying a new entrepreneurial aspect. What's wrong? Remember our APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab, if you fear in failing. A teacher who's fearing in failing will always be precautious not to allow students to fail. I'm not saying don't study and fail. That's not the point. In research, we can fail. Why not? In fact, there is no word in research. We don't call anything failure. We say we did not get anticipated results. So that we open up new gateways to others. And the teacher who's more experimentative, more engaging, more to using tools of different varieties, he addresses more variety of students also. And he or she is more successful teacher. Not in the content. Today, everything is available on the click of a button. YouTube has every topic what we are teaching today. Rest of the foreign universities have the content already. MOOCs we have, where is our role if we cannot even engage them? So I should do something which Google cannot do in my classroom. With this body language, I enter my classes. It could be with my PhD scholars, or it is with the youngest I have handled is class 9. I'm also increasing my appetite of handling students. I always can't say that only I will teach higher education. And my experience was so different with 9th graders. And it is so different with masters. It is so easy to walk in a class of a master's student, which I just did last week with Kerala University, UFOS. So you please see, we also have to be more inclusive. We also have to be more understanding. And I can't say, I have known teachers, they say, no, I can't do, only email I can do. See this body language? See, I'm shifting back. What am I indicating? No, this is not my ballgame. It's not about veg or non-veg that I can choose not to eat or eat. I just mentioned technology is the new constant. So there is a choice to be made. The sooner the better. I hope I could address you, Mr. Manoj.
Yeah, definitely. That brings in another point. We talk about technology. Then we also have the mapping of the curriculums. the way the curriculum have been, framed, let it be national or international curriculum. I think that also brings up a very different type of the
Yes.
student-teacher relationship. Maybe in some curriculums, you see the way the curriculum has been designed, there is less student-teacher relationship. In some, there are more. And also the student-teacher relationship depends upon how long you are with the students. Now, if you teach a student, I have seen teaching students for a few years, same student, different courses, that brings up a very comfort level, between a student and a teacher. Then also, if you're teaching in a college, you probably were going to teach them for 3 years or 4 years. That also the duration you are in direct contact with the student. Then talk about master's level, this lack of student-teacher relationship, but the strength in terms of whatsoever you're teaching increases. So I would think the adaptability, and then at PhD level, there is less mentorship, less meetings. So the student-teacher relationship is bonded on on different attributes in the skills development rather than social skills or so-called communication skills.
Absolutely. Very well said. I think Shweta, good to see you on the camera. Would you like to ask something?
Yes, I think Shweta, you unmuted for a while, so I thought you have question.
I think her video is frozen, maybe.
Yeah, Shweta. Okay, so I think yes, her video is frozen. Question from anyone else? If you have anything to share, feedback, or because we have last 1 minute.
I would like to share the feedback, Poojaji.
Yes, please.
The session was very, very good. I couldn't join from the beginning. My apologies, but I could understand how effective educator Dr. Pratima is. Thank you so much, ma'am. There was a lot of things that you mentioned. I would look forward to connecting with you on LinkedIn. Absolutely. And see how we can share things that will be of help to the society as well.
Oh, yes.
Thank you so much for arranging this, Poojaji, again. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you.
Great points from you as well as Pankaji. Great to have you. So nice thoughts shared. Thank you so much.
Pleasure to learn from you and others.
Thank you. So thanks. Let me wrap up by thanking you, Pooja, for calling, though short notice, but it was wonderful, the topic itself. So I really felt, yes, I can share some thoughts. And thank you so much, because you deserve appreciation for the job, what you are doing. I always say on LinkedIn and otherwise also. So keep remain motivated, because this is a very important aspect, what you have taken. And I'm sure
you're going to
lead to great successes.
Thank you. I think I have to mention this because, it was last moment, today morning I got to know another speaker that she got some emergency and she could not be able to join. And I was really thinking that, if to cancel, because I have not canceled any session so far. And there are people who have registered, and I normally feel it is slightly uncomfortable to cancel at the last moment. And it is just, I want to respect, it is kind of showing respect for their time also, because they have chosen and have accepted. And thank you so much for accepting the invitation in such a short notice. And this was a beautiful session.
I have seen the passion in you, and I've just wanted to be with you for that.
Thank you so much. And this is really wonderful session. I think Shweta is back. Shweta, did you have any question? We actually, almost closed. So you are back again, as I wanted you to speak. You had some question, I think.
Yes. Next time I would like to join a little bit early. I was little bit held up with some other works, but really, like, whatever the facts I heard as after I joined the meeting, really it was very much helpful. Like, we want such kind of teachers, especially as ma'am mentioned. First, the teacher should have that attitude, and she should have that empathy to interest to teach the kids. That's what like she has to balance her whole self, like with the empathy, with a kind of kindness, and how to tackle the children. That all will be able only when I teach myself to do that first. So when I inculcate it into myself, so then only we can handle these. I like the word which was mentioned by ma'am, that IT people will have the desk job. Yes, now here we are playing with the like future of our country and generation and all. So it's very, very much important for a teacher to realize that what is the role she is playing exactly with the children. So as like I joined as a teacher, as ma'am told, like I joined as a teacher that I didn't had any work to do at home. I started going for a preschool. Then that shifted me to a different kind of a life. It was not only just a role of teacher for me. It changed my own perception of on teacher, and my own self. I changed. I like started evolving with a teaching job. So I strongly believe that the teacher should have this in herself first.
Very nice to hear you, Shweta. I wish wonderful years ahead of teaching, a meaningful teaching at your
Thank you,
end.
ma'am. Like I'm also an entrepreneur. I'm running a preschool called Podar Jumbo Kids. So nice to meet you all here. So almost any new sessions, I would love to join you all.
Thank you, Shweta, and that's that's a wonderful message. I think those I always tend to see this. Many of them, as ma'am mentioned, that they just join because they are not getting any other job, or they just sitting bored. They're just they just want to get into teaching job. But I have also seen many of them, just like you, after getting into the job, they just start enjoying it, and they start evolving. And that is very important. If you are here by force or by chance, but make sure that you are doing justice to what you are you have taken up.
Very important point.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone.
And even Mr. Akhil deserves appreciation, Pooja. Very constant member in your sessions.
True.
Great job, Mr. Akhil. Keep doing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Akhil. Yeah, and Mr. Pankaj also. And thank you, everyone, for joining in and staying back with us till now, everyone on YouTube and here. We'll see you again next weekend. Have a great Sunday evening.
Merry Christmas to all of us.
See you all.
Thank you. Advance happy